moodfabrics.com.
Now we're going to insert our needle into the sewing machine. If you take a close look at your needle, you'll notice that one side is flat and the other side is a little rounded. When you insert the needle, you want to make sure that the flat side goes in towards the back. You want to lower the hand wheel to make sure that it raises up your needle to the highest point and insert it straight up, just like that. Just screw in the little screw here that's on the side to tighten it, and make sure it's really tight. And that's it. Your needle should be nicely inserted. Now let's take a look at how we can change different presser feet. If you pick up the lever here, and if you look right here in the back, you can see there's a little latch that once you press it, it will release the presser foot, just like that. Now in order to snap it back on, you just take your lever and push it down, and it will snap right back into place. Now let's take a look at the different markings that's here on the plate. These measurements will help guide you according to your seam allowances. The standard is usually 5/8 of an inch, so if you're using that as your seam allowance, you're just going to line up the edge of your fabric right along the line, and that'll help guide you so you know how much seam allowance you're putting. Now let's take a look at how to thread our machine. The first thing I want to talk about is the type of threads we'll be using for the beginner sewing course. Here I have Gutermann 100% polyester thread. You could also use a polyester cotton blend. It's much better than using, let's say, a solid cotton, because it won't break as easily and you'll have an easier time adjusting to learning all the different parts of the sewing machine. Also, we'll be using a standard needle size 90/14, and you can also use a 80/12, which is very good for beginner sewers. Now let's take a look at how we're going to sit our thread into the machine to thread our bobbin. Here's the spool holder, and you just insert your thread with the bottom edge, because the thread is going to run off this way. So you want to make sure you insert the spool just like that. And all machines come with a spool holder, so it will hold it in place so it doesn't slide up and down. Now we're going to follow the guides that are actually here on the top. Most machines will have a guide to help you see where you're threading. We're going to go through the first guide, loop it right around here. We're following the arrow, and we are going to go clockwise right around and then loop it right under that little notch. Let's continue on with our thread. This is a little long, so I'm just going to snip off the end. Now we're going to thread our bobbin. If you notice here at the top, there are small little holes along the edge. You're going to actually take your thread and insert it through one of the holes and pull it through right at the top. Make sure your bobbin holder is positioned towards the left as you insert it on. Now, to start winding the bobbin, you're going to click it to the right, and that positions the bobbin so that it can start to wind. Hold the thread just to give it a little tension, and slowly press on the pedal just to get it wrapped around a few times. Now you can go ahead and finish threading the bobbin. Okay, once the bobbin is full, there's an automatic stop that will stop the bobbin, so you don't have to push to fill it anymore. It's good. Now we're going to snap it back to release it. Pick up the bobbin, and if you want, you can just clip off that little thread that's left at the end. We're going to snip our thread, and now the bobbin is full. Now we're going to continue on threading our machine all the way down and through the needle. I'm going to show you how to insert your needle and drop your bobbin down into the case. Pull your thread up, slide it through the first hook there, and we're just going to follow along with the guide. As you can see, the arrows are pointing down. You want to bring the thread down and up and around. Now you're going to go around towards the left and make sure you hook your thread onto the take-up lever. Now the thread is going to come back down, and you're going to loop it around the thread guide. So what I like to do is cut a little bit of the thread on a diagonal because it helps insert into the needle a little bit better. It's the back, just like that. Now take your thread and loop it right through. The presser foot has like a little space, a notch, and you just want to pull your thread right in between there and then pull it towards the back of the machine. Now we need to insert our bobbin. On your machine, there's a little button right there that will pop right open if you just press it towards the right, and the cover will come right off like that. Now when you're inserting your bobbin, you want to make sure that the thread is going up and over the edge, just like that. Up and over. And you're going to insert it the same way. So let's just drop it down. We're holding on to our thread and it's turning counterclockwise. And then you want to hook it onto that first notch. There's arrows to help you and guide you along. You want to bring that up and around and then right down through this last little notch right there. Let's put the cover back on and snap it into place. Now we need to bring the bobbin thread up through and have it hook on with our top thread. So let's lower the presser foot, and using the hand wheel, we're going to lower the needle and bring it right back up. Lift up the presser foot, and as we pull on the threads, it will lift your bobbin thread right up. Make sure your threads are pulled towards the back before you begin to sew. And now our machine is threaded and ready to go.